Hi everyone, in this video we take a look at test and testp in Midjourney, what it is, why it's so actually important, and what the developer actually trying to achieve with it. Well, let's take a look and find out. Alright, let's take a look at the announcement first, because this is where all the information available. As you can see, this test is an effort to unify aesthetics and coherence into a single system. This is very important, by the way. I'm going to explain why. There are two modes, a general purpose artistic mode that you can use by typing test, a photorealism mode that you can use by typing testp. Both settings can be toggled via the settings panel. So as you can see, they say we are still trying to figure out how creative the system should be. If you want it to be more creative, type creative after your prompt. So for our guide modes, preferred less creative from photos, and there was an even split for general purpose mode. All right, let me just put things in perspective here. Also, basically based on my experience, the way I use it, I really like the very creative art that Midjourney actually produce, and this I think what actually made Midjourney so unique and exciting for many AI creators to create art. But it did have its disadvantages, so I'm just going to show you a few images that I created using my own text in Midjourney, and I spent lots of hours creating them, and I really like because things look really very creative. Even if you just type several words, the data set that they were actually using for the image they're trained led to very creative and interesting results, and I think that's one of the reasons many users really love them. But it actually was skewed towards that, and if you wanted to create something that is more realistic, you can see people just typing keywords to push it towards more realism, something that looks less of a fantasy or kind of a abstract or super creative, to kind of tone it a bit. But it was pretty hard because again, you want just maybe to have it by default. And also, what's going to be the default one? What they are doing now, or maybe something else? Well, then try to figure this one out, the right balance for it. And in my opinion, well, it could be just imagining Midjourney working in real time, right? We're probably going to have sliders. We can just, like you have in Photoshop, where you can actually pull different important key points to change things. So if you want something more photorealistic, you're just going to put a slider towards the left side. If you want something more kind of dreamy fantasy, surrealistic, this is go further away from being photorealistic, or something more cartoony, for example, you're going to go and slide it to the right. So again, you have those, imagine having those different sliders, be able to kind of do it and change it in real time. That will be amazing, right? But right now what we have is, well, some properties that we assign, like what we're doing now with test and testp. I'm going to show you examples in a moment, and that allows us to actually make some changes. So if I want something that will lead to a more photorealistic is kind of it's more photorealistic, it's more like realistic. All right, maybe photorealistic is not the right word, but when I use testp, for example, it leads to more realistic looking images. Even if I try to create something cartoony, it will make it look realistic by default, with a tendency to look something a bit more cartoony. Yeah, so all of those images, some of them before processing, some of them after, created by me in Midjourney using the default one, and it creates amazing results. I was just blown away, But if I want something to be more realistic, for example, sometimes I wanted to create something cute, and I use kawaii and cute, and it automatically creates something that looks more cartoon and anime. But I didn't want it. I want something realistic that looks realistic, but with a bit of the cuteness. But I didn't want it to look cartoony or anime-like. All right. So for that, well, we need to have something that allows us to achieve it easier. So this is, for example, with testp. All right. And you can see that the red cartoon, it looks more realistic. All right. That's one example. Let me show you a bit more. And again, it's actually really cool because even if I write something and force it to do something that is not realistic, it will actually tone it down. So this is another cute chibi dog with testp and a beta. And finally, I can write add anime girl and not get something that looks, well, cartoony or anime style. Look realistic, but with hints of something that is, well, anime. Here's another example. This is with testp. Right? Finally, I can get Japanese assets that look normal. And the next one is without testp. You can see the text of the prompt. It's a huge difference. The other one is just example of 4 generated. Alright? Now I'm going to show you one that uses test without testp. Right? Without beta. Again, this one with the test is general purpose artistic mode. So they're trying to find out something that is kind of a balance between the two, where the testp is well, going to the more realistic looking. Now notice in testp there are lots of black and white images or kind of old images. For some reason they just pop up. This is another one. I didn't get this before. And this is, by the way, similar with text to this one. This is the default one, alright, without any parameters. And now with testp. I mean, it's a huge difference, as you can see. Again, it's not going to be the same image, right? But you can see that the style is different. Alright, let's put the general purpose one, and we're going to see some test images, not testp. This is kind of combining more creative side, less realistic. So you see some of the things kind of emerge into test from the default one, in some degree. So as you can see, this is something that is very much needed. The question is how they're going to balance it with the right control, so it makes it easy to actually kind of switch between. Again, we are not in real time, and it takes time, of course, to generate images right now. I mean, it's not super slow, but still, it's not something you're going to just move a slider and you're going to see it in real time. Of course, in time, we're going to have this. Yeah, so probably by the time you see this, it's probably already gone. But if you see this video the moment I publish it, just go and try it yourself. So yeah, this is a good sign that Midjourney developers are working to improving the tool to give us more, well, more creative freedom basically. So we won't kind of stuck in a certain part of the scale. They want to give us more options. So this is a great thing. And that's about it. Just wanted to share that. If you enjoyed this one, consider leaving a like and subscribe maybe. And I see you on the next one. Thanks for watching and enjoy creating with AI. Cheers.